Howdy, and welcome back to Legacy Weekly. Our writer is Noteworthy59, our editor is Hollow Knight, and my name is Garasimnez. Putting together our second video has been no less eventful than our first, and while everyone's been hyped up about those things mentioned before, so hyped that Sausage goes to the point of killing himself in gratitude.
Come on, the aim is not that great. Maybe if I look at it.
There's still plenty of content to cover. Arcalouts and Nashcrafter didn't upload anything Legacy related in time for our Wednesday noon deadline, so we won't be covering them. Without further ado, let's get into the events and highlights of Legacy SMP this week. Slice Slime goes on several long journeys this week. First to the swamp to set up a new base, then to the village factor the nether roof for villagers and cows and their respective breeders, then 7.5 kilometers out on foot to the unrated reaches of the end. He collects a truckload of shulker shells, some extra enchanted gear, and a primary and backup elytra for his future endeavors.
Honestly, I would really like a second pair of wings, a backup pair, which is always really good to have.
S Major embarks on a similar odyssey for a pair of wings to join the Legacies in the skies. Next to his starter house, he constructs a spider grinder, an auto sheep grinder, and a small greenhouse, with the bee hovering around inside. After signing up for Stinger, he announces his intent to begin building in the Fantasy District, outlining his floating castle layout with some rings of dirt. Avomant gives us his perspective during the medieval dragon fight and end raid during his 5th Legacy episode of the week.
I don't know what they're doing.
They didn't even pay attention.
Go.
Whoa! Let's go, boys!
And I'm going to go collect all of those, and I'm going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
To gift a chest full of leaves to Logical Geek Boy, he swims across the river instead of traversing across the bridge for fear of trolls that has persisted since the start of the season.
There are 3 trolls, and now I could take on 1 troll. Maybe I could even take on 2 trolls, but I'm a little concerned trying to take on 3 trolls there at Nash's place, because the last thing I want to do is explode her tent.
He finishes a medieval storage room and a bar, which Avo says will be the last large-scale medieval project he takes on for a while. He announces the intent to begin work in the Treehouse Village district.
I need to go over and start a brand new project that's not here, but it is here, the site of the new Treehouse Village. This is where my next build is going to be. I'm really excited about doing it, but we've got a lot of work to do between now and then.
Catherine Elizabeth is rather lost as to where everything is meant to be. Honestly, I relate. She needed Chimney Swift to guide her to Fwip's Portal Mountain to enter the Nether. Once there, she emerges at the shopping district, going on a minor shopping spree before returning to her simple stone castle. She joins S Major in building at the Fantasy District, starting the outline of a white concrete cloud by the end of her most recent stream.
Sugar, I am putting my house in the cloud. I don't know what the house is going to look like yet. Obviously, we need the cloud first, so I'm doing the cloud now.
Riding across the map on his gold-suited horse, Sally McSnail, Chimney Swift invests in a business also considered golden on Legacy, honey. This week, he rigs up auto-collecting bee farms in his basement, supplying a pop-up bee product store under the back of his Holy Honey Chapel. 1 diamond can buy you 32 honey bottles, 32 combs, or 16 blocks, and 12 gems gets you a Buzzy Bundle starter pack. To keep pace with his blossoming ideas, he heads into the Nether, obtains blaze rods, lends an ender pearl from Line, and crafts his first ender chest. Tidying up his hobbit hole being a central goal accomplished, Chim checks out Nash's fortune teller and Sausage's now discounted suspicious stew stall. An Unbreaking 3 book and honey block negotiation is worked out between him and Fwip, and he receives a cake from the neighborly Nash. Fwip offers to help Nash get some work done, the 2 of them digging up soul sand and gravel, then clearing out her claimed ocean monument to be refurbished into a future guardian grinder. In the same episode, he terraforms the riverbanks running through his area, introducing texture paths, coast-hugging trees, and a multitude of plants and flowers to the landscape of the medieval district. His main base is planned to be a massive tree stump surrounded by a cyberpunk city using the tree as its power source. The entire thing is going to be built up on cliff faces next to a river in the Taiga. To fund this monumental project, he wires up a TNT-powered tree farm on site, managing to get it working after some trial and error.
That looks like it's working. That looks like it's working. Yes. Yes.
Gemini Tay tidies up around the space of her windmill, both by organizing up her stuff and by reshaping the lake, adding a, you guessed it, custom tree overshadowing it, complete with apples and a wooden swing.
Now, I know what you're thinking. It's weird, but you don't hate it, right? I mean, they're not going to give us apples that are visible, so I'm going to use melons. Honestly, I'm just being stubborn at this point.
Afterwards, she purchases the Buzzy Bundle from Chim and enchanted books from Fwip, along with gifting Solidarity a blue box of goodies. She paves a bridge over to the nearby river, leading towards the forest-framed wizard tower on the other side. As she shows us through her building process, Gemini discusses her real-life college's interference, explaining to the Ancients viewers why she hasn't been keeping up with other legacies in terms of upload frequency. In all seriousness, guys, show her some patience, and this applies to the other legacies audiences as well.
But actually working at becoming a medical laboratory scientist or technologist is really important, and there's a shortage of them in the world right now. It's not something that's very commonly studied, and it's a really hard program, if I'm being honest. It's not easy to do at all, and it shouldn't be something that's easy. We're dealing with people's lives, and we need to know that we're doing everything correctly. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Vigaman takes to the shattered savannah air, setting up camp on a high plateau and working out the shape of his future base, a steampunk zeppelin. Our writer is taking major inspiration from this and starting a large zeppelin base on our own SMP. Here's a screenshot of his early progress. Hopping back over to the shopping district after getting sick of staring at white, Viggo buys 4 shulker boxes from Sausage's storage shop, and now rebranded Barrel of Laughs by viewer request.